Jema Mari Nina. Tuda Laraba. Kopana Lana Tula Badasa.
Thokoza mkhulu. Thokoza gogo.
Bukanjani.
Siyabusela.
Beautiful. I like your peacock.
Hey, thokoza gogo. Bringing some of those rainbow frequencies into the space.
Yes. And the tropical vibes, they're from Mauritius.
Yeah, boy, yes. All the way on the island.
Yes. How have you been?
Sure, these times are challenging to stay in a high vibration with compassion and integrity. You, Namakosi, are like, they're testing us, but not really testing us. It's more like they're playing. It's a big game that's happening at the moment and a big time of unfolding. So I feel blessed and privileged to be holding this space with so many other people, and everyone's at home so we can connect with them, and whether it's online or in a dream space or just through meditations, it's really unifying the consciousness at the moment, and there's nothing we can complain about, really.
At least, there's one good thing about the internet, and that is helping us to stay connected, especially during this time where it seems like we can't be connected, but we make a way, we find a way. And I think we're winning the test in that regard. We're staying together as a humanity. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. It's a test that we've all been part of for many, many stories. Many prophecies are unfolding in front of our eyes, and people are running towards their faith more. They're running to the self more, whether it's religion or whether it's any certain doctrines or philosophies. People are really starting to see the essential part of what it means to be in Christ consciousness or Buddha consciousness, and that is to fully surrender to the things of the unknown that we don't see, we don't always understand, and that sometimes when this gets scary, we have each other to lean on, we have each other to converse with and to grow with, to heal with. We're not really alone on this path at all, ever. Yeah. That is what ancestors have been showing me. They're like, it's good to be connected to spirit, and sometimes being too connected can make you crazy. So everyone's going through a shuffle in energetics. A lot of people that are introverted, they're enjoying this time. It's blissful for them. It's challenging if you're staying with your family and the space is tight and you're all up in each other's faces the whole time. It's really a test of compassion and just treating people the way you want to be treated, and re-seeing your reflection for what it is. And it's going to show the world, like, now is the time to wake up. What do you want to do with your life? What direction are you wanting to take this? The earth doesn't need healing. She is perfectly fine. She is showing us how we need to heal ourselves. She'll be fine after us, and she doesn't want that for us. She wants to be us to be a part of this awakening, this enlightenment, the golden age. And a lot of people are fearful at the moment because it's really unknown. People are looking in their crystal balls and they're like, I can't see what's going on. This is crazy. It's because the future's not always ours to see. We're going to distort too much of what is to happen. So as much fear as this virus is bringing on, it's showing us that the microcosmic is really expanding into our macrocosm, and how the within and without, above and below, is really starting to make sense to people. It's not this airy-fairy talk. It's not just the spiritual jargon that the shaman and sangomas of the world understand, the healers and the spiritualists. It's more like everyone from their level of reality and consciousness is being given an opportunity to ascend or to embody themselves more. So, like, it's a beautiful time to be alive, really. Like, to be a human being incarnated now with the technologies that we have, it's like ancestors are going crazy, you know, like they're so excited. They're like, yay, 21st century, welcome guys to the 21st.
Yeah. I mean, it's
And you have been going through so much from Kulu. Hey, you!
Yeah, I think we've all been going through quite a bit of transformation and changes and things. And I guess everyone is just following their heart. Most of us are staying true to who they are and just wanting to give and to share. And I feel like my gift is to share and to talk stories and to stories just help to inspire and bring ideas, because that's all that most of us are lacking is understanding or inspiration or connection, and these lives help to do that and help to connect others, help to connect South Africa to Mauritius now.
Yeah, but
and yeah, I think it's just amazing. But I wanted to chat to you because you know you're very connected to spirit and you're always flying high, and they like to tell you lots of different things. So I was wondering if there are some things that you would like to share to everyone that's of what's been happening, what's been going through your own mind and soul, and what you would like to share.
You're wonderful, Gogo. Thank you for giving me the platform to share, because
You're welcome.
it's been challenging for me. Like, I've been trying to hold space for myself and my ancestors and my family that I'm with at the moment, and it's been this battle of like, I want to share as much of myself as I possibly can, but because of my past experiences, when I step into the space of sharing, there isn't a mutual respect in what is being shared. So I was letting myself be set up for failure and set up for disappointment and for a lot of judgment and pain, because I was sharing in the wrong circles. I was sharing it with the wrong people. You know, sometimes a message is meant for yourself and to be kept inwards, because it's a sacred connection between you and Amadlosi, with your ancestors, with the messengers of God or the messengers of creation. You know, there's some things that I've shared with people where I'm like, ish, it doesn't even matter if they're ready for it or not, because they will take from what I'm saying what is applicable to them in the moment, in the situation now. So we must never have this fear of wanting to connect and to share, because what I feel sometimes is too much is just the beginning. It's like a taste for people to get awakened. It's like a surge of Kundalini energy that I'm emitting onto the person. And I didn't realize my own power before. Like, I didn't realize that by sitting in meditation for as long as I have, it's enabled me to become very telepathic. So I'm very connected with the water and with the water spirits, the Ndawi. And how they communicate with me is like, every time I'm drinking water, every time I'm washing my hands, sometimes like I have this fear of even going into the waters, because I know they're just I'm gonna be drowned with spiritual informations and connections. And ever since walking the path of Sangoma and walking with them and learning from them and healing them through my being, and like in a way forming a relationship, it's teaching me how to form relationship with others in a more profound, deep, and in like a truthful way. So for me, that is very humbling, because now I get to share the gifts that I have without seeing them as these blocks that are stopping me from making friends and connections. Now I'm better channeling it, if you want to speak of it like that. So yeah, I mean, I've been connected with spirits since I was like 5, and that was brought on by a big connection with water and with crystals, the crystalline structures. And I never really understood it before, that the spirits inside those things, those objects, was speaking to me and communicating to me. It was up until I moved to Joburg, I think maybe 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. I was working in a crystal store there, and for me that was my biggest initiation with Monono, with the ancient ones, with the dragon keepers and the wisdom keepers. It was really a testament of, is this the dimension that you want to be working in? Is this really what you want to do on your calling? Because you have to kind of specialize when you become a healer. You can be a jack of all trades, but not for very long. It depletes your energy too much. So what I've learned is that you got to like select you got to choose your vibration and then stick with it and play with it. Let it fluctuate up and down. Run through the emotions of things, because that's what water really teaches. It's about the emotions and not being stuck. Stuck water creates a cesspool of bacteria and mosquitoes, bloodsuckers. It's a lot of energy depletion. So the water really teaches you to keep in a state of osmosis with what is around it. It's flowing, it's growing, it's never stagnant. And that's the same with the human being. You know, like when I say to most of my clients when they come to see me, it's mostly about the emotions and how I can help them to channel love, you know, through the right portals, through the right chakras, the right dimensions of being. Because sometimes the love gets stuck in one area, and then they're only really manifesting from one dimension of their self. And it's about really working with tantric modalities, where it's through the breath, whether it's through like visualizations. So in a way, introducing people to their psychic abilities, something that we read about and we listen to online and we see on TV, and we kind of think that the psychic world it's not for me because I'm not a psychic and blah, blah, blah. When everyone needs to realize that they are psychic to some degree. You know, we all feel, we all see, we all hear, we all taste and smell to a lesser degree. So that is your power. People have forgotten that just to see with your two eyes is a power. To hear with your two ears is a power. To be able to speak your truth from your heart is a power. They take these things for granted, and in Hindu philosophy that I've learned while being on the island, connecting with very ancient ancestors like Shiva and Vishnu and Mahakali, and so pretty much the mother and the father, the god and the goddess aspect of creation, and how you cannot really have unification without the one or the other. Mary doesn't travel too far away from Jesus, as Jesus doesn't travel too far away from Mary. So it can be said in all dualities and all spectrums of things. Male doesn't move too far from female, as grandmothers and grandfathers are always working together to bring unity, to bring this inner namaste, or this inner state of Toros. Because that is what sound actually has been teaching me, the dynamics of sound. Because I'm very telepathic, I'm always in my mind, and I don't have opportunity to speak much. And then when I do speak, I'm like, geez, where's all this coming from? Like, is it me? Is it my spirit? Am I like an antenna picking up vibrations or signals, and then it's just coming out my mouth because I'm trusting my heart, I'm trusting my soul? And then we start to get the answers. And that is what I want to try and not teach people, but definitely embody for them and mirror to them, so that they can too become like us, like, you know, very connected beings, whether it's connected with your body, whether it's connected with your mind or your spirit. It's the Trinity. You can't have one without the other two. It's just, what level are you connecting through? What medium are you connecting through? Are you connecting through your physical being? Is it connecting through your senses, so your spiritual being? Or are you connecting emotionally through the waters? So,
yes.
Like, it's been a profound journey, you know, learning all of these modalities.
I like what you say there when you say that you're wanting to share, or you basically you are and you're doing. You know, you continue to be who you are, and you continue to express who you are, and through that you can show others that this is how we should all be. Because that's the whole idea about this, is we're not wanting to say, oh, we healers, we can connect to spirit, now you must listen to us. We have to stop that. We have to stop that that patterning, because that's what's been happening for way too long with the church, with all of these people that say that you have to listen this way. And what we're really sharing is that we are all able to connect this way. Everyone, like you're saying, has a different way of doing it. Yeah, it's very nice. I wanted to go back to the emotions, because emotions are a very interesting topic and something that I would like to also understand a little bit more. Are you saying emotions is a gateway to spirit, or what's
yes, you could say that it's very much a channel to which we can observe our spiritual being, because once you observe your own self, it's always about the self. When you have that true connection and love for self, other beings of light and love show themselves. Other ancestors come through those portals to connect with you through that dimension of being, which is the heart. That is why in all pictures we see Christ with his heart and the threefold flame coming out. What he's trying to tell you, what he's trying to channel to people so back far as 2,000 years, and there have been many messengers, messiahs, yogis, gurus that have been trying to embody the same energy and then deliver the same message, is about connect to your heart, people. If there's pain in your heart, why is there pain there? What have you done to yourself or said to yourself to hurt yourself? Because if it's the understanding is that each one of our relations is a reflection of our own self, then if we are treating others in a way that we wouldn't even treat ourselves, then that's bad emotions. That's what we would say is negative energy. You know, that's what mtagati or curse magic is all about. It's about when you're not loving life and blessing life around you and the people around you, what are you doing? You're renunciating it. You're cursing people with your negativity. We're projecting all of our pain. And this projection of pain on the collective consciousness is what disconnects us from the higher realities. Because in unconditional love, that is where the supreme being resides. So you have to clear the channels of your emotions to better connect with spirit. We are spiritual beings that have happened to be inside a body. We are just incarnated or manifested as a physical reality right now. And that is so that we can better appreciate and better have this understanding of the creation we live in and that we are part of. So as a human being, we are very blessed to be able to embody physicality and to feel. Because a lot of beings that I channel and connect with, they don't know what emotions are. Some ancestors don't know what sadness is or what happiness is because they're in a state of unconditional love. That's all they know once you return to the other side. Same with the angelic beings. Like, they don't know anything that is separation. They don't know what is evil or good. They don't understand these concepts, but they do come to learn those concepts through us. So as much as we are learning from the spirits by connecting to them, they are learning a heck of a lot from visiting with human beings. That is what makes this experience for me so humbling. It's like, and why I struggled with this emotions of self-worth a lot as a man is like, am I worthy? Am I worthy of these gifts? Am I worthy to carry the responsibilities of ancestors to do this healing? Am I worthy to be loved, in essence? And once you move through that space, and like through working with Ishikakao, I worked with her sometime yesterday for 2 hours with Shanti Bluebird, another one of Gogo's Kuchinas. And I was in awe of Gogo. I was like, I've missed this. I've missed connecting to the divine feminine because it's raw, pure emotion. And as a male, I know that a lot of our brothers are struggling. They're struggling with this dimension of being, which is definitely feeling, taking responsibility as well. And like the more and more I embody Shiva consciousness and masculine divinity, I start to see how much it fights and how much it argues with the grandmother or with the divine feminine. And then I just tell the grandfathers, hey, guys, just sit down and listen. Just sit down and observe what the mothers have been doing since the beginning of time. Nurturing, loving, holding people in compassion, cooking food, making sure everyone is happy. Soul happy. not happy on the physical senses or the mind. The mother doesn't care to satisfy the ego. She satisfies the heart. And that is what Ishkakao, the goddess, has been teaching me lately. It's like, don't hate yourself for being in a man's body. Yeah, it's rough. These emotions sometimes are really, really deep, and they hurt. But feel them. Cry. Let out a moan or and shake your body. Feel the waters. Let the water ancestors rise into your heart, because that is where they are surging from. They're surging from the hara. They're surging from your sensuality. And sensuality has no sex. It is not male or female. Sensuality is something that all human beings carry, regardless of how you've been born. And it's about raising that hara energy into the solar plexus, clearing out the intentions, clearing out your motivation for life. When that is clear, you can easily bring that energy up into the heart to clear space for your feelings and for your emotions. And I hope that I can teach men how to do this technique, because it's a very important technology.
So why would you suggest someone to work with emotions, and what? Because also as a man, like if a man hears this, then they're like, yeah, well, what do you mean? Because also we've been so disconnected from our emotions that we also don't understand what it really means to feel the emotions. But then why should we feel emotions? Like what is that going to do for us? You know what I mean?
There's huge breakthroughs to be had when we sit in the space of compassion and emotion, because it is raw, it is true, it is vital, and it is aitalaya. You know, that is why a lot of males smoke a lot of weed, and they drink a lot of caffeine, and they'll drink a lot of alcohol. It's because they're connecting through those mediums to connect to source. You know, some drug addicts out there, they're so connected to God, they're so connected to the goddess, just don't even see it. Because they are running away from that emotion that sets you into motion. So, like for men, like it doesn't have to be such a scary thing, because we do scary things all the time. We challenge the fear. We go past our egos without realizing it's unconscious. So sometimes it's about bringing it back to the consciousness. What am I doing?
But I wanted to just touch quickly on the substances. Isn't the addiction of substances to actually null the effects of the emotions?
So
not connect, or does it null the emotions so that we can connect?
It depends on the intention.
Okay.
You see, most people coming to the medicine or to the drugs arena with an intention of running away, then sometimes the medicine has this funny way of playing with you and actually making you face what it is you need to face. Because that's what they do. They only work for the highest good of all, no matter on your intention. They just want to test you and see, like, okay, what's this guy coming to me with? Because I'm going to show him a thing or two.
Yeah. And then someone says emotions are illogical, Gav. So they are illogical, right? But there is a meaning. But there is meaning to it. So
It's sometimes it's illogical, because I don't always understand my emotions. But when you try to get out of your mind and into the heart, it's a different space. It's a space where you're not trying to question everything and understand it. You're just allowing it to be. If you allow things to be, then you can sit with that sadness and be like, hey, Gogo, why am I feeling that sadness? Did I not touch myself in a nice way today? Did I not feed myself in a good way? Did I not nurture myself in the way that I need to? Your spirit is always trying to communicate with you. Whether you're ready to listen or not, it is always there trying to speak to you through your emotions. It speaks to everybody through different portals, different channels. You know, some people, it speaks to them through sexual energy. Some people it's more through the heart-centered energy. Some people like to take psychedelics that amplifies the sight and the crown chakras, because they want to connect to a reality that is outside of themselves. But inevitably that reality is inside themselves. So they're connecting more deeply, profoundly with themselves, just with a different visualization, a different technique. The medicine has always, like when I've taken drugs, because I've got a history with taking different medicines, I know the more chemical substances numb emotion. the point of using those things like cocaine and heroin and tuck and things like that, methamphetamines, is more about disconnecting. They are too connected, so they're trying to disconnect something from like their heart or their mind. There's something that is creating trauma. Then when you finish playing with those kinds of things, then you move on to more natural substances like psilocybin or ayahuasca or San Pedro, or even to some degree, some hape can be quite psychedelic to a very small degree. I mean, marijuana, cacao sometimes for me is like hectically psychedelic. It's about the intention, you know, like for so long I've been running away from who it is that I am and who it is that I feel that I am, and the feelings that is associated with being in a man's body and having been rejected and having gone through trauma and having gone through rejection and judgment from others. All of those things create emotion. Men, on the other hand, they don't want to feel that. They're like, no, I'm the man. You can say what you want to say about me. I don't care. We play it cool like that. But deep down, it affects the spirit. People can talk all sorts of shit all day long about how illogical the emotion is, but it's a response to something. The body is a mechanical being that responds to something through the emotions. So, like, you can't discredit your emotions. You know, they're there for a reason. And why healers try to connect people to their heart is because it's this area where you can really let your wings open, where you can really soar into your eternal majesty as a human being, in experiencing themselves as this physicality. Emotions are not to be analyzed too deeply. They're just meant to be touched, felt, sat with, observed. It's a space of observation, which is what meditation is for. Observe your thoughts, observe your emotions, and then you can change that. There's lots of techniques to quickly purge in really fun ways, like without having to bawl out and cry or vomit or shit yourself. Like, it doesn't have to be that deep all the time, guys. Like, sometimes we can take it step by step. Slow and easy, steady does it, because too much water can drown you also. Too much emotions can be like overwhelming, and then we really want to shut off and we're like, no, stay away emotions. We don't deal with you. We're going to deal with the mind. I'm going to journey with this medicine because I can deal with it in that space. The medicine just gives you an excuse to let go. She assists you. They hold space so that you can let go.
Yeah. What I found is that, I agree with you with that drowning of the waters, because I think that's the biggest reason why people have been running away from emotions, because deep down we actually know that it's also something. There needs to be a time for that. There needs to be, you know, this life that we live. There's no time for that, because it does take requirements of stepping back, of reversing a little bit in order to. But what we don't know is that it'll actually take us to a place where we haven't been. So it actually, you know, we need to go back to go forward. Take 2 steps back, 5 steps forward, kind of thing. And working with emotions definitely does put a wrench in your life most of the times, especially working with them. So it's like taking that one emotion at a time, like you're saying.
Energetically, it's important. You know, you don't want to overwhelm your system. This is a computer, and you've got 7 dimensions of expression. That is what the 7 chakras are. So, you know, you have to go down to the root. You have to go down to your core and really see what is that shadow aspect that I'm working with, and then how can I bring it to the light. When I light my candle, when I do my prayers, when I sit in meditation, when I connect with the sun, what am I bringing to the light? What am I wanting to enlighten? What am I wanting to see about myself? When you're honest with yourself and your only critique is yourself, then you can go as deep as, you can go very deep. You know, that is what Sangoma have taught me. Like, yeah, they're very earthy energy, very to the point, blunt, just very primal, instinctual. And for me, that was interesting because I'm very connected with angelic frequencies, which is very high vibration, not from this planet. They come through the grids and the crystalline structures of this planet, but they're not really from here. And those two dualities, really bringing the balance of what is above and below into union, it's deep work. It's deep work because we're doing it through our bodies. We're doing it through the body being. We're doing it through Pachamama, through the planet. And if you've got a stuck, blocked heart, it's going to affect the rest of your river. It's going to affect the way that you see things, the way that you hear things, the way that you feel things, the way that you manifest. That's why it's important to stay in a heart space during this time of fear, because they're trying to create fear. You know, there's a paradigm going on at the moment where let's create as much fear as we can to keep people underneath the radar, because they don't want to actually deal with that emotion or that fear. So they're just going to keep talking nonsense over Facebook and spreading more fear projections. They're just going to project it because they don't want to internalize that, what they're receiving. So they project it. And then it creates a frenzy. Whereas now people are holding such a strong space in the light and in the heart. People are not, they're being given the choice, you know, like, are you going to choose fear this time or are you going to choose love? Like, be fun, choose love, because it's a high vibration and everything is airy when you, in that vibration. You can smoke a cigarette and you will feel high, like on Clyde 9. You will smoke, you'll have air, you'll just be breathing in meditation, my brother. And then you'll be like, yoo, yee. What did I take? Am I on mushrooms right now? Because I'm accessing the particle inside me that remembers having taken that substance. It's still there. Ish. So that's what the dietas are for. You know, dietas and dieting certain medicines is so that you can hold that spirit or that frequency within your morphogenetic field. So with Ishikakao, working with the heart, you're automatically going to embody unconditional love. But you have to surrender to the flow, you know. And that's what we help people do, you know, different modalities. There's tapping, there's silent meditation, there's drumming, there's dancing, there's trancing. I mean, I know guys like dancing. They like just stomping, shaking. You don't have to cry. You're stomping the emotions out of you, but you're not aware. You're not aware of it, you know. You don't have to be all teary and emotional, and it's not always necessary.
That's why the sangoma, the beating of the drums and the dancing, it really can really move things. For me, like when I work with emotions and working, it's all inside of my body. I understand my body, and hey, I've been on a journey of working with this body and finding the roots where there's tightness, and that tightness is the energetic block, is the emotion that I need to deal with, or is this opening of the joints, is opening up the different pathways for the blood to flow and energies to flow. Most of the time, 99% of the time, the emotions I don't feel. I just know that there's emotions happening, there's movement happening, and I assist my body in releasing that, you know, to let it flow. So there's also not, I mean, like you're saying, you don't have to cry, you don't have to like physically be conscious of it. But what is happening is you are going through it. Whatever, if it's a soreness that you're working on and you're moving it, then that is an emotion that you're allowing through.
Moving through the emotions of being. It's like, it's very important. It's like, that is what yoga is about. Yoga is about unification with your mind, body, and spirit. What better way than doing it through your blood? You know, it's transporting everything around your body 24/7, keeping you alive, pumping through. What organ? The heart. So how can we say the heart is not important? The heart is the most important. Clear the heart and you clear all other channels. Have a strong heart and you clear all your chakras. Have a strong heart and you connect with people in a real way, with depth, clarity, integrity. Then you don't have to think too much. There's no thinking, it's just being. And through the being, then things start to flow, things start to come out, and you're like, wow, who am I? Like, all this beautiful stuff is coming out, all of the storytelling. You tell people that I'm not a storyteller, but that's the biggest lie. I just didn't know I was a storyteller because I'm so like serious sometimes, you know, like I'm learning to be more playful with this thing that we call spirit, because we take it sometimes for granted and we take it too serious. Sometimes we're supposed to connect with that inner child and just let it laugh and play and talk a bit of shit, you know. And then sometimes it's we're connecting with the old ones. They're so old they forgot how to smile. It's that's how old they are. And it's about balance, you know. I'm living with my 82-year-old grandmother at the moment, and she's so playful. She can be so serious sometimes, but so playful. It's like, is that even my grandmother that I knew? There's some other ancestors flowing through this Gogo, because she's getting close, she's getting ready for her time to be with spirit. So all sorts of things are processing through her at the moment. So like, I'm holding space for like things that I didn't think I would be able to, because I normally retreat into myself and I'm scared. I don't want to interact with the world. I don't want to feel what other people are processing and feeling, whether it be death or the fear of death or the fear of not having money, just the fear of not having, you know, abundance. And then I'm like, no, I'm feeling these things so strongly because I'm powerful. I'm empowered to do something about this. I can shine with integrity and with love, and when I feel these things crop up, I can lend a word of encouragement. I can make a cup of tea. I can do a massage or a Reiki session on these people, because it's about showing them love. You're not alone. You might not be able to verbalize your feelings right now, but I feel you. And that's the most important to us.
I like that. And it's such a powerful and practical way. Just do something for someone else. Even because also these emotions that we're feeling on a collective is also is very difficult to discern if it's like the collective or not, because it's also within us. We're not going to ever feel this if it's not within us too. So that act of love, because also, you know, you can get into a space when you're feeling these emotions or you're feeling these things and you just want to eat and you want to hurt yourself, and you want to distract. Instead, I like what you said, do something for yourself, do something for someone else. Just show love in any kind of way. Random act of kindness, huh?
Bro. That's what I've learned over these past few weeks. I mean, we've been in lockdown for like almost 4 weeks, so I've had nothing but time to share my spirit and really get my family on board with this process that I'm on and this being that I'm wanting to see myself as, really becoming my higher self. And they didn't get it for many years, and that's why I struggled to actually go through the process of Uktuwa as I was, because I didn't get permission from my grandmothers and grandfathers, or my father and my mother. They didn't see me or hear me and give me like permission to walk this path. And it's important to get the permission from the living ancestors, because they are living right now. They hold power too. They also hold lineage. They also hold knowledge and wisdom. And sometimes they are saying things without knowing it, because maybe it's not the right time. So I just needed to listen to those messages and realize, okay, I've got a lot of processing to do, because I'm very sensitive. I did make myself quite psychotic and crazy with the medicine journeys that I had been on, because some of the spaces just weren't held with integrity. But it helped me to discern, not to judge, but to discern what is of a higher light and what is of a lower light. No, not judging it that is bad or good or evil or whatever. No. It's just different qualities of energy, you know. What are you going to choose for yourself because of the love that you have for yourself? If you love yourself very much, you're not going to do anything to hit yourself or to hurt yourself anymore, because you make this conscious choice to live in the light, to live in love, and you're like, Ish, I'm not going to say those things anymore. I'm not going to watch those things anymore. I'm not going to behave in this way anymore. And that is how you start to change your circuitry and change your programming. It's you have to actually do it. Going to healers because you want healing, we're not going to heal you. We're going to awaken you. And sometimes that awakening is quite rude. Because we have to be blunt. We have to be strict. Because we are doing it with love. Love is not just all love and light. Love sometimes hits you one time, because it shows you that is what you think love is. This is what love actually is. And then you're like, wow, you're in awe, because you realize it's a frequency. It's not a thing. It's not a doing. It's not a being. It is a thing. It is a consciousness itself. Love is a frequency of God. That is what all religions are actually trying to tell people through stories and words and all of that. But energetically speaking, that is what it's trying to say. We are all one. Let's be together. Let's be all right. Let's smoke that joint together. But let's not run away from who we are. Let's not run away from our feelings. Let's talk about that stuff. We don't have to get all girly about it and emotional, and it's not always necessary. Guys don't want that. It makes them uncomfortable. When there's too much water, hey, they don't know what to do. They're like, why are you crying? You make me want to cry now. I don't understand this feeling. No. But you can also go get kasaped. And then all of that emotions is automatically, unconsciously going to come out. Just let it flow. And then dance. And then make a joke. And then hug your brother. Brothers need to start hugging each other more. And kissing each other on the cheeks. And just sharing love to show that it's not coming from a place of sexuality. It's coming from a place of my heart. My heart wants to connect with your heart. Don't be scared of that. Girls do it with each other all the time. That's why they're so used to sharing hard things. It's because they connect. They kiss each other, they love each other, they hold each other, they cuddle. But guys, you'll never catch one cuddling. As soon as I started to cuddle some of my straight friends, they were like, hi boena. They didn't understand this feeling. Because it wasn't sexual. They craved it. So my spirit was giving that love to them. That, put cream on your hand. Let me show you how to love yourself. Let me show you how to love yourself. Because I know how to love myself. I'm a man, and I connect with the divine feminine, and it is not necessarily a gay frequency or a gay energy. People need to get out of that consciousness, that just share love. Share love, unconditional love, compassion, and just share moments with one another. When this lockdown is over, people are going to be so in love with each other. They're going to be it's going to be confusing for them. We need to hold space for that. We need to show them it's okay, guys, this is normal. You have been locked down for a while. It's like a little child who's just been let out for the first time. Everyone's going to go deep partying. They're going to be going a bit crazy, in other words. But that is exactly what needs to happen in the world right now. People need to go a little bit crazy, because it's that craziness that brings them to sanity.
Exactly. And what a beautiful time, because now we have that opportunity to be able to play with those ideas. We need to be able to entertain ideas and have space for that, so that things can change, so that we can see, this is how it should be, and then move towards that. And that's what I'm so excited about, and why I've always had such a happy thoughts about what's going on, even though there's a lot of things happening, and there's fear, and there's viruses that are real. Ultimately, what you're talking about, of changing the paradigm, letting especially guys know that it's okay. Hey, I've even been in my friend group. We all suck with our phones. No one ever speaks to no one. It's just we're never chatting or whatever. And for some strange reason, I've been called strong to just message them and to be adamant, almost just calling them on the hook. So until they answer, because otherwise we're not gonna get connected. And it's that once we're on the phone connected, it's just, even then, sometimes it may be a bit weird, and you're like, okay, why are you calling me now? But still, just that connection, or just that
open the door.
Let's be here together.
Because as Sangoma, we've been trained to keep our doors open, to let all opportunities and all spirits come to speak with us. So we have this deep responsibility and opportunity to show our brothers, this is how we do. Open up that channel, open up that door, open up that way for communication, and let's just talk cock for 5 minutes because I miss you.
Yeah.
We don't say that. We don't say that to people like, I love you and I miss you. And it's like we've lost romanticism. And sometimes bromance is necessary, because if you have not got strong emotional ties to your brothers, how are you ever going to get married? How are you ever going to have a strong connection to your queen, to your wife, to the feminine, if you're not in touch with your own self? Because women love to see men cry. It's like a turn on for them. They love to see that shit. They're like, ooh, look at my boy. He's been opening up. He's crying. Oh, girl. And they tell all their girlfriends about that, because they're like, he opened up. He opened up. And they're like celebrating. Yes, so why don't we just celebrate with each other and open up? Open up the platform for stories telling, to listen to the women's stories. They've got so much wisdom to teach us about these things that we don't understand. Masculinity is not here to embody the divine feminine all the time. We're here to just dance. We're here to dance with her. Not fully embody it all the time, because then you lose your own identity, but to dance with her, because she's there to show us how she likes to be danced with. But you have to be open to dancing, not being in the mind.
And they're calling for that. They are calling for that so much, is because also they've got all of this wisdom and they want to share, but they're also asking us. They're sharing so that they can ask us to use our mind, our way of man, to discern, like, what is this technology that's happening here, so we can formulate something so that it can be nice.
Because they don't have structure. They have to learn structure from the men. So they're encouraging us through dance, and we have to then make the sound, give them structure, because then we are structuring the dance. That is what Shiva did. That is what Shiva consciousness is about. It's about sitting in your meditation and watching the women dance, and then feeling their energy from across the dance floor and saying, okay, who am I vibrating with right now? Okay, I'm vibrating with her. Let me go and dance next to her. Doesn't have to be grinding up on her, because they don't like that. Trust me, they don't like that. They're just doing it to please the male ego. They really don't like that. They like having their own space. And then they dance, and then you dance, and then it's like a peacock. You're peacocking around them to show them, these are my tools, these are my gifts, this is who I am. Are you interested in hearing my story? Because that is how we like to be approached. We like to be asked for things. Because when people ask us for things and we feel like they make us important, we make, needed. Yes. And it is a nice feeling. We shouldn't be shy to want to be needed. It's not necessary. We need to vocalize some of the things that we want, how I want to be treated, how I want to be touched. Because trust me, your woman is going to be the same. She's going to tell you how she likes to be touched, how she wants to be danced with, how she wants to be spoken to. And it's important for relationships right now. It's so, so important.
But you see, this is now also the pain of the masculine, is that if we are not, because that's the thing, we want to be asked, but for so long we've been forcing, because we haven't been asked. There's so much pain that instead, okay, well, if you're not going to ask, then we're going to force. And this is what's been happening for a long time in this patriarchal energies of just force, because we're not being respected, and also, so that whole thing. And that's also something interesting to look at for ourselves, and just be aware. Can we have the patience? Can we do the dance? Can we continue the dance until we are asked, even if it takes an eternity? That's the questions we should be asking.
It's awesome, Guru. Yes, it's so important. It's so, so important. That is what balance is all about. When you were speaking like that, those words was really bringing me to balance. Hemispheres, up and down, left and right. Know where you are. Know who you are. Where do you sit in the wheel of life, in the wheel of the medicine? Are you more of a water spirit? Are you an earth spirit? Do you embody fire, or do you embody air? Or are you a little bit of everything? But you have to be honest with yourself. And when you learn your frequency and your vibration, then it's easy to find your tribe, as they say. Because that's what it's about. Find yourself to find yourself. Because all you're looking for is yourself in this reality. Even your partner that you find Your partner is only your partner because you want to share yourself with them as they want to share themselves with you. It's not, I'm going to try and find my other half. No, because then you're telling yourself that you're only a half. But if you're a full being, your challenge is to find something of that equilibrium. Find someone who is also a whole, not someone who is in this consciousness of self-worth and self-loathing, and they don't love each other and they don't love themselves, and they're just negative vibration. We don't want to be attracting that around us. When we meet those kinds of frequencies, we impart our love on them. We give them blessings. We give them praises. But don't mean I want to take you home. Not with that attitude. Not with that kind of frequency. This is the time where when you're raising your vibration, you're not supposed to lower your vibration for anybody. You need to take your light to them and try and see if you can ignite something within them.
Having those boundaries.
Boundaries, it's very important. Your yes must be yes and your no must be no. And it has to be strong, and it has to be honest, and it has to be, you mustn't feel bad. One must never feel bad for the choices that one makes, because we are all just human beings and we make mistakes, and even I judge, and sometimes I'm negative and I go through a lot of shadow work, and at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, it's fine, Jean-Luc. It was one of those days. Tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow you'll wake up and you'll be more conscious, and you'll be more reflective upon how you speak to people and how you project yourself. You're going to be a little bit more humble today. Oh fuck, I fucked it up again. Okay, I'll try again in 5 minutes. I'll try again in 5 days, or whatever the case. As long as you're willing to get up again, see yourself, see your mistakes and how you act, and then take responsibility for that. Don't feel bad, because everyone is going through the same thing. Everyone is going through the same thing. We're all human beings on different paths, but the path is going to the same place. So whatever.
Don't feel bad, but feel what that feeling is.
Yes.
Without that judgment. Going back to those emotions and allowing them to work through us.
That's how the universe speaks.
Ultimately, what the Tao always teaches is to bring that balance. The Tao say that you don't need to be a holy man. You just need to be balanced.
Yes, because even the most holy men, they're imbalanced.
Yes.
There's only so much you can learn from the holy men, because there's so many things that they don't do. They restrict themselves with their practice from doing certain things. So they don't hold that within their frequency. They can't impart that wisdom and knowledge that you need. They're just holding space. They're holding a certain frequency for the highest good of all. That is their commitment to be like a bodhisattva, to be like the Buddha. They're there their path is, I'm here to be like the Buddha, I'm here to be like Shiva. That's it. I'm just embodying that frequency so that I'm a light or a beacon to others. Cool, see as well. That is their path, that is their reality. But not everyone is meant to be a holy man, I walked this path a long time thinking, oh yes, I'm going to be a holy man, I'm going to be like a Swamiji, I'm going to be like all of these ancestors were talking to me and telling me, yes, you have the potential to be like that. And then I said, you know what, but I'm also here to be a human being. I also want to have a beer sometimes and feel a little bit intoxicated. I also want to sometimes be naked and run around on the beach. And sometimes I want to smoke that spliff with my community and laugh and maybe channel some prophecies for them. I don't want to be perfect. I want to be imperfectly perfect. I want to show the beggar, the drug addict, the alcoholic, the sex addict, the person who's crying in the corner, the person who's on the mountain thinking they're God. I want to show them all who they are. Not who they think that they are, but who they truly are, the divine essence that lives within, that has no face, really. It has no voice, even. It's just a frequency, if you would. And just connect with that frequency, and you'll be fine. It's the heart frequency. It's the channel of love. And that is the time. That's the fifth dimensional awakened Gaia that everyone's reading about online. The 5D consciousness. To simplify it, it's living within the heart, people. It's nothing like... Yeah, there's lots of metaphysics that go with it. That could be for another time probably, but for the physicality, it's about being in your heart and sitting with that emotion and flowing, surrendering, shouting when you need to shout, and then apologizing for it. Because you have to apologize when you make too much noise. Eish. Like some ancestors are like, hey, what is this noise? We don't used to this noise. And it's about respecting each other. Learning how to respect yourself is learning how to respect other beings. Some people love loud, loud, loud. Some people like soft, soft, soft. It's the same about how people like to be touched, you know.
Ultimately, it's really just about learning to let go of the old fears that kept us from not expressing, and just honoring that this time is allowing for that, and you are going to make mistakes and there is going to be learnings, but it's going to, those mistakes and those learnings are going to help you to know how do we work with the heart, who are we, and when we are expressing, when we are not holding back from because what society says or whatever, that's when we can truly understand what it means to be in the heart and express. So we're coming up on the end of this, so I wanted to ask you one thing. What have you been doing other than just acknowledging and accepting and working with love frequency? Is there something practical that we can do to connect in with the heart and to strengthen our heart so that we can allow our emotions to be felt?
The yogi in me says that the best way to connect right now is to meditate at least twice a day. It doesn't have to be long meditations. They can be quite short, between 5 and 10 minutes. But ultimately, you want to go for 30-minute meditation. And the meditation is the simple practice of just connecting with the breath. Connect with the breath, the inhalation, the exhalation, the inhalation, the exhalation. And that's all. And then being in a space of observation, pure bliss, sananda, awareness, just sitting in that space with breath and realizing, okay, I'm thinking right now, okay, wait, I must return to the breath. Because without the breath, you're not living. You can't live without the breath. That's the most important thing. It teaches you how to be present. When you are present, then you can really start to analyze now, what do I feel? Now, what am I thinking? Because otherwise it's just, it's just too much. There's a lot happening in the world right now, guys. Be careful with your meditation practice. Keep in the heart, because there's so much fear shit that is lingering in the astral planes that I'm busy clearing with the dragons. Like, I've been doing some hectic work lately, like energetically, and feel like I'm privileged because I'm like, yes, cool, I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. I didn't always understand it, but I'm just going with it. Every day is a different adventure. Some days I don't even know what I'm doing because it's like the first time I'm doing it in this body. I've maybe done it as a spirit who knows how many times, but I'm remembering. That's why it's beautiful that we are on the Alchemy of Remembrance, because that's what it's all about. You know, when you start to remember who you are, where you come from, who your ancestors are, your lineage, what are my gifts? Who am I? What makes me me? What makes me unique in this world? Then you start to become so humble, so appreciative, so like nothing in life. You start to attract beautiful things, and you start to live in a world of synchronicity where just you read something and then someone says it and you're like, yes, I read about that, thank you for the confirmation. Oh, that bird that's singing in the tree, thank you, Gogo Gabriel, Yebo Toros, I hear you. Hey! And you start to connect with your family, your light beings, you know, and the family is huge, 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 huge. So set that intention of what it is that you want to connect to. Do you want to connect to your mind in the meditation? Are you wanting to connect with your emotional being? And sit with it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, not long. Just sit with it. See what it is trying to tell you. Listen for a change. Just listen.